Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we're going to talk to you about Smartphone Inc., the game that no one has ever heard of. Just kidding. This game is like super hot right now.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Super hot.
By Arcane Wonders.
Yep.
1 to 5 players.
I believe so.
1 to 5. Yeah. Look, maybe 2, 4, 5.
You guys
1 to
suck.
5. Dan is skeptical of our abilities to explain a game. So anyways, Bob.
Yeah.
You love teaching
You're
this
the
game.
expert.
You are the smartphone expert.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a great game. Favorite thing about the game?
Wait, how do you feel about the game?
I love it. I
Okay,
love it.
just
If it's
checking.
not apparent, I love this game. It's not just because of dual layer board, like the whole board being dual layered.
Oh, it's dual
whole
layered.
board is dual layered.
It's dual layered.
But it's straightforward. It's got some cool mechanics to it, and like a quick kind of like run through. It's played over 5 rounds. Every round, you're going to go through all of these particular actions here. You're trying to make smartphones. You're pricing them at certain price points to be competitive in all the different zones. You're using logistics to try to get your phones into different areas. You're researching new technologies that certain people want to buy. And it's so much fun. Like
Now, I will say, initially, right, when you're like, oh, it's 5 rounds and there's 8 phases around,
Yeah.
I am like, check out. Like, I'm the
Oh, and also, by the way, it's all about marketing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like not our strong suit. But this action crafting that you do at the beginning is one of the coolest like mechanics that I've ever
It's a
seen.
really neat mechanic.
You've got these 2 tablets that are like 2-sided, and you're going to overlay them, and then the actions that you have showing are the actions that you're going to get to take during your turn. And there's just so many possibilities. And then as you build and you get more of these bits here, you'll use them to overlay and get even more possibilities of what
Right.
you can do. And so everybody does that behind a screen, and when everybody's ready, you reveal, and you're like, oh, you raised your price so much. Like, oh, why are you selling your phone so cheap? You know, and because people who sell their phones cheap get to act first. If your phones
Right.
are expensive, you have to go last and hope there's still room to sell your stuff. And yeah, it's a really great game. Like I kicked myself because I didn't back it on Kickstarter, and then your sister played it with me, and I was like, "This is amazing."
What's
I went
happening?
out, and
Yeah.
found myself a copy and
Yeah.
got it because it's really cool.
And I was very much like,
Yeah,
smartphone, that sounds dumb.
yeah,
Like, not interested. And then
Mhm.
also, like, that, like, Gen X part of me is like, oh, everybody likes that. It must be terrible.
yeah,
I admit it's
Yeah.
a problem.
yep,
It's a problem.
yep,
And then you got to play it.
yep.
And you're like, no, seriously.
It's
Seriously,
cool.
you have to know. Like,
Yeah.
Bob was totally indoctrinated. He started wearing, like, this weird cloak
Oh,
that just had, like, a smartphone
Yeah.
and Arcane logos wonder on it.
Wow.
He joined a cult. And then I played it, and then I got a cloak.
Right.
So-
Dance cloaks in the mail.
Yeah. But yeah. I was very down on the theme.
Mm-hmm.
It did not sound interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go into every game wanting to like it.
Right.
I try, you
You don't want to go
honestly-
into it looking for a bad time.
No, right,
Yeah.
because I really genuinely
fun.
enjoy playing games and just hanging
Mhm.
out with my friends and Dan. But we, but yeah, I mean, when you were first like explaining it, I'm like, oh my god, 8 phases in
Yeah.
a round, like this is gonna take
It's a long-
hours.
Yeah.
It's gonna take
Nope.
so long, and really, no.
Yep.
It-
This little doohickey up here tracking every phase. It's super helpful.
And because once you've done this takes seconds.
Seconds.
Exactly.
That takes seconds. This might take a minute because you're
Yeah.
gonna think. You might think about what you want to try
Sure.
to get. Seconds.
Yep.
This
A
could take
little
a
bit.
2nd,
Mhm.
and then this
That's
part,
probably the longest phase. Well, apart from planning,
right.
the selling, because you are trying to look, and certain people only buy certain things, and you want to maybe block people out of your region.
But these
so
are
they can't sell
minutes.
stuff.
This is
About minutes.
Minutes.
Yeah. Yep. So not long at all. We played it in like hour and a half.
Learning.
Learning.
4-player game,
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
And
That's
3 of us
pretty
had
good.
never played before.
Mm-hmm.
I felt very good about the
Yeah.
game time and speed
Mm-hmm.
of it. The art makes sense for the game.
Yep.
I actually
Yep,
like it a
it's
lot.
pretty simplistic icons, right? So you see it, you know what it means, right? It's like there's no like open to interpretation. Well, this might mean this, or no, it's
No,
very
it's-
straightforward.
Yeah,
very
they look
clear.
like app icons.
Yeah,
They
I
do.
love it.
yeah, they
It-
do
it
because
looks
they're
like-
your tablets,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
looks
you're
like
like
a tablet with
"Hmm."
apps. I love
Yeah.
it. Now they're Tim-sized apps, but
Aw.
Baby hands. That's fair.
yeah,
The components, man.
Yeah.
The bits are really nice.
Yep,
They're
there's
really
3
cool.
different main types.
Right. You've got like the buildings.
You have your cell phone towers. You have your little
Wi-Fi
staircase. Yep. So it's like, can you hear me now?
And then your cubes are basically just your cell phones.
Yep.
Your
Your crates of
units.
phones. Yep. So pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And-
I wish they were not translucent.
Yes, that's my biggest complaint because like being kind of colorblind, sometimes it's tough. The green and like the black, I think it was, at a distance, it's hard to tell.
It's
I
hard to
really
tell
got to
which-
put them up close to figure out who is who.
Sure.
And they do have like color specific areas that you're supposed to start in, and I have like, well, I'm gonna be yellow, but I'm gonna start in blue just because the yellow is easier for me to see.
Sure.
And like maybe like a wooden cube would have been a little bit easier to identify
To tell.
or to recolor myself.
Oh, sure.
Because I've had to do that a few times.
Well, I mean, I'm not colorblind, right? But like, I'm just saying, it has nothing to do with color for me. It has to do with if the staircase is this direction, I can't tell if that's a staircase or
yeah.
this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're translucent, you cannot tell.
Yep.
If they were opaque and maybe matte, you'd easily be able to tell where the curves on the shapes are.
Correct.
And with the translucent shapes, there are so many times where I'm like, is that a house over there? You know, like I was having that happen to me a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's pretty minor for like as much fun as I still have
Oh,
with
sure.
that game. Like
Oh, yeah.
any game where I can like deal with that, I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Right. And something that I know this is big for Dan and really me too is how functional the insert is.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So everybody's color comes in a tray.
Yep.
And if your friends are nice to you, they will sort it the way it needs to go and
Yeah.
keep it sorted. There's even like a little impression of the
Yeah,
the
almost
icon,
like Terraforming
of-
Mars
of what-
has like the
what goes in
board.
there. And then as you get like bonus
Yep.
points even, it's got a spot on your tray
to hold them.
them.
Yep.
So everybody
Sure, but that's right.
sees
I got that.
what you got. And I just was really impressed with like how much thought went into this design,
Yeah,
right?
even just that little tray.
I mean, just
And
like,
something
whoa.
else, now that you talk about the technologies a little bit, they pop out of here and they're dual layered, right? So there's 2 different options that come in the core game, and I believe the expansion has newer ones also
sure.
that you can add to it. And
Right.
it also adds a CEO, which if you have the technology for the CEO, basically allows you to take like actions in that area when
Sure.
you're right there. So it's like another mechanic that it adds in with the expansion. Plus, it has a 2 to 3 player board. So where you can play 2 to 3 players on the big board,
Right.
you use these little guys
Cover-
here to block off like certain areas.
yeah,
You know, depending
big
on what
ones.
size they are,
There you go.
and you can still play with fewer players. But with there's a board specially designed for a smaller player count. It's nice because then you don't have these, and you're on just like a normal board.
And then also you can play solo, and you play
Yep,
against
yeah. There's got a little
Steve,
solo Steve.
Steve, the AI. Show
Yeah.
the back of that board though.
Yeah.
That's the fun
It's
part.
kind of neat.
Sure, we don't know who Steve is supposed to be.
Steve who? I don't know. Could be Steve anybody.
I hope he works. Do you think he works like more than one job, or does he only have one job?
Probably just the one
Does he work
job.
jobs?
Yeah, maybe he has jobs.
Yeah, he could have jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
Steve has jobs.
No, that's funny.
You're welcome. Boy.
But yeah, no, like
So we kind of walked through gameplay. Bob, is this game fun?
yes, I would say that it's a fun game.
You've not stopped
I
smiling
know.
the whole
It's a great
time.
game. Like I can't help myself.
Dan, I see that Dan is ready to rain on this parade.
and I feel bad that I may have tainted Dan's initial
No,
prospects.
that
of
had
the game.
nothing to do with
Okay,
it.
good.
My own performance is what
Okay.
had to do with it.
Okay.
I do not love this game nearly as much as I wanted to, but it's just because I'm so bad at it. It's a really good game. It is,
Yeah.
but like I've played it 3 times now, I think, and every time I'm just so disappointed with myself. I do.
Why is my score so low?
I will say that every time I played it, I've done better than the
Yeah.
previous time. I'm
That's good.
learning.
Yeah, you are
know?
learning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just so bad at this. Like every time I lower my press my phones, everyone else goes up, and I'm just like, why did everyone go up? That it seems like an abstract choice. Why did everyone else go up? And they're winning. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yep. Hey,
So-
it's better to sell 3 at $7 than 5 at 2.
Yeah, I just can't think that. I just can't think that far ahead. I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And they have a challenge mode too. I didn't mention that. These
Oh,
tablets, there's
yep.
a challenge mode where there's penalties on here. So basically, it's going to cost you to do things. So you have to pay money
And that's in the
to
expansion.
do your actions, and that's in the expansion as well. And I haven't tried that yet, but I am looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we could tell.
Yeah.
We can tell.
And it's a jerk move to be like, I'll play with the difficult one.
Oh, now you're just
you
showing
play
off.
with
No,
the normal.
when you
I
win-
actually must have suggested that.
Oh, okay.
when you win still by 200 points,
Yeah, no.
you'll be like, oh, and I had the difficult ones.
Yeah.
And Dan's like,
I hate this game.
what happened? Okay, so what do you think the weight and complexity of this is?
It's a little crunchy, but I would still say medium crunch because this does such a good job of breaking down the phases.
It's
not
sort of
super
like
difficult.
it sort of is a medium weight game, but it feels like a lightweight game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it
I
is
100% agree.
Yep.
easy to teach.
The trickiest thing they'll have is this, but all you got to do is let them reveal theirs, and you can kind of coach them. Well, okay, this is what you're going to end up with. Is that what you wanted? You know, and then once they're sure what they have, then you reveal everything else. Just don't be a jerk and go back and change it. Oh, you're doing that. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
What are the odds? I stopped you.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think the hardest part of the game, obviously that kind of thing, but it's the thinking ahead, right? The whole point is it's a marketing game, so thinking ahead of how can I need X amount of phones next turn for this price so I can sell to this many people before Tim
but
can.
you gotta make sure so many logistics to get in
exactly,
that area,
and that's a lot of thinking. But the actual gameplay itself is insanely simple,
and it's
like
very intuitive, right?
Super streamlined.
Everything just kind of flows into the next thing and makes sense because you're gonna know, right? Eventually, I can only sell so many phones in the area I'm in. I need to expand.
Yep.
You know, and then the board tells you where are the places
where
you
you're
can
connected.
expand
Exactly,
to.
and the iconography is so simple.
It's
It makes
solid.
such sense.
It's so solid.
You know, it's not an overuse of iconography. It makes perfect sense. So,
And I find, and I don't know why I've been kind of paying attention to some of this, but like the language dependency, right? Like there's not a lot of, this is all icons.
Yep.
So, you know, if someone is not speaking the same language as you, it's not that hard to figure out.
Correct.
Like how this would translate.
Yeah, you're not
right?
reading a paragraph of stuff trying to figure it out. It's all right there.
It's all
the hardest
right
part's the math, and it actually has a breakdown here. Like, oh, you have this many phones at this many dollars. That's how much money you made. But yes,
money
it's
is
a little
victory
mathy.
points.
So yeah,
And
you
money
do
is-
have to be.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna poo-poo on it because of that.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
yeah.
It is just they just try to facilitate how you're gonna
Yep.
figure out your victory points.
Yep.
It's gosh.
But yeah, it's I love it. Like,
So Bobby,
yeah,
final thoughts, buddy.
it's crazy because it's not a war game,
Right.
Mhm.
but
Do it.
I gotta give it a 10.
Oh,
I do.
I
I got.
love
I gotta
that.
give it a 10.
I love
do.
it too, 'cause
I
that
love
might,
it so
that might help
much.
counteract my score.
Oh, okay. But like, yeah, even though
So
it's not
Dan
a war
comes
game,
in at a 5.
yeah. But no, I love the dual layered. I love the streamlined. I love the action crafting, all the different technologies, plus the ones that came in like in the expansion that I got. Like, it's amazing. I would, if people ask like what game do I want to play, I would recommend this game over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, I want you to
You
go
want me to
next.
do next?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So
Because I want to know.
I've unfortunately been hampered by two things. First of all, I was the one excited about this game. I brought it up to them when they haven't even heard of it yet, and I was like, guys, smartphone's coming back out. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, oh my God, I've been so excited for this game for years. I missed the first Kickstarter. And so the fact that I was let down a little bit with how insanely overhyped I made myself, and the fact that I'm so bad at this game. I mean, it's depressing, like playing this game. I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Wow.
So let me
That's
just
where I'm
say,
gonna
so
go.
you are poo-pooing the game because you're bad at
100%.
it?
Wow.
I think that's a valid reason, though, because you would then don't enjoy the game. And I think that's a valid reason, as long as you point out your own
I
reasoning.
guess I've been bad at games, but still enjoy them.
Sure. And
Yeah.
And would rate
Like
them
Cthulhu
highly.
Wars.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
were-
great.
Yeah.
Like I think I won my second game after like the 4 years ago. I won a game.
Yeah.
But like I still enjoy playing.
Sure.
Right.
And like I said,
And I've got about a 50% win percentage.
Yeah.
But I played so much.
Yeah.
And I'm
pointing
usually
out all the
teaching.
positives I have for the game, and I'm saying overall it's a very well-made game and stuff. I'm just saying for me personally, I'm rating it at that point because that's how I feel about the game. You know, that's when I leave playing this game, I'm just like, why don't I like you more? And that's what a 6.5 says to me.
That's how I feel every time I leave here.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So we'll be taking applications to fill in Dan's position.
Got it. You have to like smartphone.
You have to like smartphone and dual layer player boards, okay? And
Yeah.
game boards, the whole board.
Yeah.
Blows my
I
mind.
mean,
So 9. Anyway.
no.
What's next?
No, not a 9.
Wow,
Not
really?
a 9. Because I wanted to be wrong, right? Like I didn't want, not that I didn't want to like the game, but you see the game, you're like, I don't like the hipster dude on the front.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I am anti-hipster.
I like him a lot.
being a Gen Xer. Yeah,
Yeah.
because your wife said you look like him.
I don't see that at all.
I know, but she did. She insisted
If you
that.
grew your beard out more and got some glasses.
Yeah, and lost weight and had thick hair.
yeah, then you could totally pull it off.
But like, I came in very, very like harumph about this, and this game totally flipped me to the other side and brought it over. And I think and not only because when I played this game, I've been competitive.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was really competitive
super
with you
close.
on my
We were
first
talking
game.
about that.
Yeah.
We were like so competitive and so far ahead of
Yeah.
everybody else that we kind of ignored everybody else's score, which was not.
It wasn't
nice.
It wasn't very nice, but man, it was so close, and I was so relieved that I beat him.
It was a really good 2-player game.
It was a really good 2-player, 4-player experience.
This game totally brought me over to its side. I think some of it helped because I didn't have to learn it like out of the book. I had you teach it to me.
Right.
This game does lend itself to be taught easily, but I thought you did a really good job teaching it.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Mm.
Had an awesome experience playing it, and I've taught it to now other people.
Nice.
Have lost still, but had an amazing time playing, and always have a very good experience with this. It's a 10.
Wow.
It's a 10.
Wow.
I was not expecting that from Tim.
I was not expecting it
I was not
either.
expecting. I was like maybe a 9.5. You know,
No, I was
8.5,
not expecting
9.5.
it, but this is a 10.
Yeah.
Here's
This
the
is-
thing: if I had said like an 8, he probably would have gone down to a 9. He didn't
No.
have to fix the. He had to
Fix
fix
the
the
rating a little bit.
ratio.
No,
No.
This game, I didn't want, like just looking at the box, had no interest, was not into it.
Yeah.
Was not into it. And because I was so like anti this game and then had such
Flipped
an amazing
you.
experience,
Yeah.
like for me, that goes a long way, right? Because
Yeah.
I already started at
Right,
a
because you
negative.
started at a negative, so yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
See, since you
started,
started at
and
positive-
then tainting positive.
And
Yeah.
you went the other way.
Yeah.
Because I had 0 even negative expectations where you came in like
Oh yeah.
shooting the moon.
I was ready
Yeah.
for this to be the best thing ever made.
Right.
And it's
pretty
good.
close.
You know.
Right. I mean, this is like a top 10. This game's probably in my top 10 list.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know that it
Probably
cracks my
top-
top 5 yet.
It'd be pretty
but-
close to top 5. If it's not 5, it's 6, right? So yeah,
But
it's
it-
up there.
That's
This
awesome.
It is up
This
there.
is hanging
That
around
doesn't
at
happen
like
very often.
Yeah, like when you go up my steps and I have like those games right in the front, those are my most frequently played games. I move stuff off that shelf to make room for this.
this
Yeah.
this is like a 9 or 10 in my top 10
Yep.
for me. But it's just really good.
Yeah. So I guess
It's
that makes
just really good.
our
Yeah, what's the rating?
board game 8.8.
Yep.
8.8.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah.
We know what you do, Jeff.
I mean, it's pretty
Pretty good,
solid.
yeah.
Pretty solid, even if Dan
Yep.
Captain Poopy Pants
No,
was
I
on
think
here.
though. I think that is a great average score for this game, though.
Yeah.
Bringing up my.
And I get
score
what you're
and-
saying. I get what you're
Mhm.
saying. And I
Yeah. So I could get being flustered and not caring for it as much, especially if you're.
Because
Not
originally,
having the
so
fun.
like first time I played it, 10. Like I'm like, oh, this game's amazing.
Yep.
Second time I played it, and I had to teach it,
Uh-huh.
and so I did have to look some things up,
Mhm.
and I was like prepared to sort of lose some of the shine.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started having a really good time. You get into the rhythm. You watch like I was playing with Spencer, and you're
Mhm.
watching it like click
Click.
for him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's just a really
Yep.
fun and kind of satisfying experience.
Yep.
So I got a lot out of that too,
Mhm.
and just a really good outing.
Yeah.
Golly, smartphone's good.
Smartphone Inc.
Yep.
Smartphone Inc.
Cosmodrome Games. And Arcade
So-
Wonders.
for the board game rundown and the cult of Smartphone Inc. Apparently, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.